When all the states and territories in Australia have committed to a zero emissions target by 2050, when 73 major businesses, including Qantas, whose praises you were singing today, and BHP have agreed to that, when peak business groups are calling for it, when environmentalists and scientists are calling for it, why is the federal government determinedly isolated?
Lee, I'm not going to commit to a target when I can't look Australians in the eye and tell them what it costs or how it's going to be achieved.
Have you done any of the modelling of the costs of not going to net zero by 2050?
This is why we do take action on climate change, Lee. So the argument that it's about, what's the cost of not doing anything? Well, we are doing something, so I don't accept that argument.
But have you modelled it? Because, for example, sorry to interrupt, Prime Minister, but Melbourne University...
No, you can interrupt.
Melbourne University's had a look at it. They've found that the potential economic risk to Australia if global emissions patterns remain the same are 584 billion by 2020 and 762 billion by 2050.
Well, we're not planning to take no action, Lee, so that the argument
if
is moot.
Patterns remain the same.
Well, we're not planning to have patterns remain the same. We're planning to reduce emissions with a technology plan which will achieve that, but I'm going to do it in a way where I can look Australians in the eye and say, I'm not going to put a tax on you, I'm not going to take your job from you, and I'm not going to undermine industries that are very important to rural and regional Australians. I think they're fairly reasonable commitments and balanced commitments. See, I mean, it is about having a balanced plan to achieve all of these things. That's what I took to the last election. That's what I said to the Australian people. I took a 2030 plan, and the Labor Party today can't even tell you what it should be in 2030. We did that when we were opposition. And in 2010, when we were in opposition, we set out a plan to how we would meet the 2020 Kyoto targets. We have a Labor Party today that can't agree on themselves about anything and can't even tell you what should happen in 2030. So how can you believe about 2050?
You were talking earlier about the need to keep investment going, particularly at the moment. The Chief Executive of the Business Council of Australia, Jennifer Westacott, wants a net zero target by 2050 legislated because she said it would cause a massive advance in this country. It would drive investment. Isn't it time to give business that certainty they would like for investment in this area?
I don't agree with having a target that provides a reverse tax on the Australian economy. I mean, and whether it's the business community who says they want a tax, or if it's you or anywhere else, I don't agree. I don't agree that we should be putting a tax on the Australian economy to meet a targeted emissions level.
Okay.
I don't agree.